you are going to show us two things that many people have been Googling and looking up, whether it's a good idea or not. People are curious how they can trim their own hair if they need to while at home.
Yes.
And also if they have bangs, little fringe, how do we trim our own fringe? So you're gonna show us those things.
I'm gonna show you guys, and the first thing that I want you guys to really take away is the word trim. Okay? Let's not say a haircut, you guys. Please do not haircut your hair and create a new style. Let's just trim it and let's wait for your beautiful hairdressers that you guys love and miss, like we miss you guys. And I'm almost ready for you guys, and I'm gonna introduce you guys to a new friend of ours. I don't know what her name is, but she definitely has a name. She has some roots, okay? She probably needs to go and get some highlights.
It's a good root though.
It's a good root. It's a nice shadow. It's a nice shadow. Okay, so first things first, okay? We will talk about the bangs and how to trim the bangs, because right now, as you can see, I can't really see my bangs, but the bangs that I'm gonna wanna create are a little bit more like curtain bangs rather than like very heavy fringe. I really want them to kind of be on a gray diagonal. But the first thing that you wanna do when you're trimming your hair, you wanna use a contrasting color to whatever your own hair color is. So you really see the detail of where I'm going to trim that hair, right? So for you, because you're dark, I would recommend wearing like a white shirt or something like that, because a lot of us don't have capes at home. Now that we have the bangs, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate the longer hair from the shorter hair, right? Just by clipping it away like that. And I can't really see much, but I will in a second. Okay, so these are my bangs, right? So most of the time, bangs are on a triangle right here from the top. So, right, so this is my triangle, and these are my bangs. I'm going to take the middle section, just like this, and I'm going to put my mark of how short I'm going to want them to be. Now, you want to make sure not to pull on your bangs very tight, because if I pull on it tight, it's going to spring up and I'm going to end up with bangs that are up here. The other big thing is start with freshly washed and dried bangs. Do not cut your hair wet, because your hair will always shrink up. If you have a little bit of a wave, it's going to shrink up. If your hair is curly, it's going to shrink up like a lot. So start with dry hair. That's your first thing. Now, take your scissor, and I would recommend not cutting like that. I would cut up and down, right? It's gonna be a lot nicer and a lot softer. So I'm gonna take these bangs, I'm gonna look straight ahead, and I'm going to look up, and I'm going to put in my line, just like that, of where I want to have my bangs fall. So you see, so that's really nice now. So that's the shortest part of my bang that I'm going to have, since I want them to be kind of curtain bangs. Next, I'm going to connect half of what I just cut to the rest of my bangs. And a great trick for you, Marissa, is if I want my bangs to be on an angle like this, on a diagonal angle, that's how I'm gonna cut them. So I'm gonna hold them, I'm gonna put it on a diagonal, how I want it to fall. I'm gonna lift it up, and then I have the ends just like this, right? So you're just gonna go into it just with the tip of the scissor, and I'm going to trim them, taking very little bit off. And guys, at home, take very little, because we can always go back and take more. So why not start in incremental small stages? So I don't know if you guys can see, but I just trimmed all of those off, and I'm gonna let it down, and I want you to see how beautiful it's on an angle, and I have beautiful, perfect bangs now that fall on a gorgeous angle, right? So now I'm gonna do the same on that side. I'm going to take the middle of where I cut the shortest part. And right now you see they're kind of like long and all over the place. I'm going to imagine that my hand is on an angle of how I want it to be. So on an angle like that, right? I'm gonna lift it up just like this, and I'm gonna go into it and trim it. Perfect. And then when I take it down, it should be on a perfect angle, just like that. And now if I want to soften a little bit of the ends of this, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it forward, okay? And we're gonna go into it and just soften the ends of it. And what this does is it takes away any of the harsh lines without taking any of the length. Okay, so then I have that. And then I can brush them into where I want them to go. And I have beautiful, perfect curtain bangs that just lie down like this. I can take the rest of the hair down. The issue is with short bangs, you know, you can do it, but a lot of the time, people don't know the placement of where to start in the back. So they end up taking too large of a slice from the top of the head. So I would say if you're gonna go and you're gonna be crazy and you're like, I just want straight across heavy Rooney Mara bangs, what I would say is start with a very, very small triangle, just like that at the top. And again, I would have the hair dried, blow dried, bring it here, and always start with it longer, like maybe halfway on the bridge of your nose. And then you can always work up in very little increments. Good.
All right, let's talk about trims, because I've heard a lot of people are looking up ways they can trim their own hair if they have dead ends, or maybe they were already due for a trim and now they're 6 weeks in. Is it doable? Should we try to trim our own hair?
I would say if you can wait, definitely wait for your hairdresser. That's my first recommendation, okay? They went to school. They are people who have two arms that can kind of work behind you. Unfortunately, you're not a contortionist who can, you know, do many tricks like we can do with our hands. So it makes it a little bit difficult, Marissa, to get to the back. So I say most of the time, if you're looking to trim the back, unless someone is there with you, co-quarantine with you, I wouldn't try like doing the back. I would kind of do more layers around the front of the face rather than taking the length off the back because it's too difficult. How do you actually do that? The only way to do it is you can split your hair straight in the middle from the back, right? And then you bring both of the sides completely forward, okay? So you bring it completely forward. And then what ends up happening is the back is, you see the guide of where the back is. But the truth is it's a lot shorter now because you brought it forward. So you wanna make sure that you're not cutting it straight across, but you're putting it a little bit on an angle. Because I brought it forward, you think it's actually this short, but it's not. So if I go straight across, what will happen is this will be a lot shorter than the back.
We don't want that.
We do not want that. So I'm gonna say this. So you're gonna comb this just like that. And again, I would keep your head incredibly straight and look straight in the mirror. Okay? Guys, I'm looking in the mirror, so I'm not gonna look right here. I'm actually gonna look in the mirror. So, okay, so you're going to take the hair, you're gonna look straight in the mirror, your head is straight. And again, instead of going across, we're just going to notch into it in very little parts, and it's gonna be more on an angle like that, rather than straight across, okay? So comb it out, hold the comb where it's going to go. You're gonna put the angle of the comb, and that's where I'm going to notch into it. Just like that. And that's why it's really nice just to wear a t-shirt so it can kind of lay flat like that. And look how nice taking off all of that, getting all of the ends really beautiful and clean. And again, I can go into it a little bit more. If I want to soften those ends, I just go into it like that on an angle. And all of a sudden, look how nice and blunt I have that versus like all this hair that's kind of dead on the ends. So it is easy to do. And if I take it back, it's still really nice. Can you see that? So that's the secret. So when you bring it, do not go straight across, go on an angle. That's the takeaway. So that's the first thing. So now let's do that on the other side. Okay, so I have that. Here is my guide again, right? We're going to angle it so it's angled. Now with this hand, I'm just gonna go into it. And by the way, you know, I'm not ambidextrous, so this is as hard for me as it would be for any other person out there at home. This technique is actually quite easy because you're just looking straight ahead, Marissa, and you're just going into it with the tip. If I was trying to go straight across, there would be no way, because physically I can't do that. What I would have to do is lift my shoulder, right? Which would throw everything off. Okay, so now that I've done that, right? So I can tell, look, there's one longer piece, right? So I'm gonna go like that, and I'm going to, again, go into it and cut that one piece. Just like this. And now to double check that the length is right, you're going to take it and bring them straight into the middle. And this will tell me if it's pretty even. And that looks really even to me. The only thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna soften the ends a little bit. So that's really nice, right? And now I can show you a little bit of how to soften and create a little bit of frame-facing layers. You're just gonna take a section from where your parting is all the way to the ear, like that, all the way down. Now, you're gonna take the hair and it's going to kind of be flat. So lay it flat like this towards your cheek, yes. We're going to twist it away from the face. So bring it so it's flat towards your face, yes. And we're going to exactly twist it. And when we twist it completely, we're gonna see the ends like this. So now you would have the scissor in this hand, right? And we would just go and take very, very little amounts off of this, softening the ends just like this. You're gonna see it's gonna give you just beautiful, very, very natural layers around your face. So you see, so it just kind of softens the entire haircut so you don't have all the weight here. So now I have all this beautiful, light, easy movement around. And I'm going to do the other side the same way. I'm going to separate it and I'm going to twist it going away from my face. And simply, I'm gonna look at those ends, right? And I'm going to notch into it a little bit, very, very little, taking out some of that weight, taking out some of the layers. And then when I take it down, I have a little bit more movement. It's a little bit sexier. I can use a little bit of a texture spray now on my hair. Do a little bit of the bangs. You know, and it's nice and sexy and easy, and you kind of have like a very, very, very easy trim that you cannot mess up on.
You heard it here, guys. If you need to do it, that's the easiest way. Adir, thank you. This looks awesome. You look great as
Marissa, thank you, baby. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think I'm probably better as a brunette, but thank you for the compliment.